Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about behind the scenes for the movie Prince of the Sun. Now, I really enjoyed doing Prince of the Sun. The first reason is that I got to play a character. I was a monk, so I had a costume on. I wasn't in normal everyday clothing, so that was a lot of fun to me. The second thing is that we were shooting in Nepal, and Nepal was a place I haven't been to at that time, so I was excited. So we set off. All the exteriors were in Nepal, and interiors were in Hong Kong. So we were at those two locations. The film also starred Conan Lee, who was a really good friend of mine. If you remember Conan was groomed at that time to be the next Bruce Lee. They kind of actually almost made his hair like him, and his body was like the early days of Bruce Lee. But Conan went off to have a career all by himself. Also in the film, playing the bad guy, was my friend Jeff Falcon. So a little behind the scenes. First of all, the monks. Okay, we're all dressed in traditional monk robes. And here we are, and we're in Nepal, and we had a break. So they said, okay, go to the coffee shop, but don't change. So we went down there, and we met this renegade. Now, we found out that in Nepal, right, there's so many monks, men, women there, and that you have some good ones, and you have some not good ones. Because some people go with the spirituality in mind that they want to be a monk, and others go because they get free room and board and food. So if they're having a bad life, it's good for them to go be a monk, so they get all this financial benefit. So we happened to run across one of those that were there for the wrong reasons. So he gets all pissed off at us, and he goes, why do you guys have those costumes on, right? Now, I'm with stuntmen. We're the most deadliest group of people in Nepal, and he wants to pick a fight with us, and especially with this one guy, because the one guy that was the head, he had the gold robe on, and he shouldn't be wearing it, he said, and he wanted to cause a fight. Finally, we calmed him down. I think they gave him some money, and he was happy, and off he went. One of the most awesome scenes is we're shooting at the temple with the big eye. That's one of the main tourist attractions in Nepal. And there were about 500 monks. This was like a pretty big budget production back in that day. And it was so awesome just being surrounded by all these monks. As far as fight scene goes, that was awesome. I got to use some spear, which I really like to use weapons. And the premise of Prince of the Sun was kind of like a little bit of a takeoff of The Golden Child. And if you notice, a lot of the Hong Kong movies will kind of see a popular American movie, and then they'll just tweak it just a little bit. So I'm fighting on these pillars. This was the most dangerous scene in the whole movie. They range from 3 feet to about 25 feet. And then they had myself and the person that I was fighting. I can't remember his name right now, but he was quite popular action star in his country. And I think he was Korean. And we are both wired, because we have to do a fight scene on the pillars. Do you know how hard that is? Like, you just have this amount of space and you have to jump and fight. And we were trying to practice. And at first, you're up there about 25 feet, right? And you're like, whoa. And you go to kick and your leg doesn't want to go. And if you look at the fight scene, it's so awesome. And keep in mind that we're up that high. So I remember we are only held by 2 stuntmen. I mentioned this before. When you're on a wire and they're holding you, there's 2 stuntmen on the ground holding you. So if they let go, boom, you go down. So we were saying to them, make sure that you don't let go of the rope. They're the wire that was holding us up. Well, my partner that I was fighting with, we're doing this fight scene, and they let go. And he went down probably about 6 feet. But as he did, his back scraped the pillar going all the way down, and he got hurt. And after seeing this, I was so nervous to do the fight scene because it was so dangerous. They could easily, maybe they weren't strong enough. And he was like a really tall guy, to hold us. But we got through that scene, and that was like, because that was the hardest scene out of the whole movie. I also had a fight scene with Jeff Falcon. And Jeff is a phenomenal martial artist. And I remember him and Conan were kind of a little bit like this toward each other. And we're at a rehearsal and we're sitting there. And Conan's sitting next to me and Jeff is sitting next to me. And Jeff is telling me about this script he wrote where he's going to be the lead. And he goes, his name is Thor. And Conan says to Jeff, who'd name a guy Thor? And Jeff looks at him and says, I don't know, Conan. So they had a little thing going on, which kind of helped for fighting. Another thing is we're in Nepal, and we were there for quite a bit of time. And we went to a restaurant to eat. So now the owner in the restaurant wants to bring his best dish out for us. So he brings wild boar. And he brings all this meat, and he's so proud, and they put it on our plates. And the first thing we did is someone said, let's say a prayer. And we're like, absolutely. So we all bow our heads down, and the chef comes running out. What's the matter? What's the matter? Because he didn't know what we were doing. He didn't know that this is like a prayer, and he sees everybody looking at the food. He thinks it's something about his food. So then we go to taste this wild boar. Oh, probably one of the worst things you could ever eat. It was so tough. It was like trying to chew on a gristly muscle. So we all take it, we all put it in napkins and putting it in purses and putting it in pockets and all these things. And we're going, yeah. And he goes, oh, you loved it so much. And he brings another big, gigantic dish of it out for us. So it was like, yeah, if you go to Nepal, do not eat the wild boar. Another thing is we had 1 day off of shooting. And some of the people were going, oh, we're going to go and get rugs. We're going to go shopping because rugs are really cheap here. Well, me being the adventurer, I said, look what I found. I found an elephant ride through a jungle, and you see tigers and lions and all sorts of animals around, right? And I said, and we get to sit on top of an elephant in a little basket, and they give you champagne. So 4 people went. The director, the producer, myself, and I don't know, someone else came. So there are 4 of us, right? So we get on the elephant, and we're having champagne, and I'm thinking, this is so great. Well, it was only about a mile around, but the elephant walked like this. 1, 2. I mean, you could have had your grandma walk the circle, and it would have beat the elephant. That's how slow this elephant went. So we're going along very slow. And this was like probably 6 hours. It took about 6 hours to make the loop. So we're looking for the animals. We don't see anything. And all of a sudden, the guy starts getting excited, like, tiger, tiger, tiger. And we look. It's a cardboard picture of a tiger. All the animals were cardboard pictures. We saw not one animal. I think we saw a squirrel on the whole thing around. These people were so mad at me. It was our only day free in Nepal, and I had them come on this. I don't think they talked to me after that for ruining their days. And all these people came back with these really nice rugs, but that was kind of crazy. But I was doing a fight scene with Jeff Falcon, and we have to back up as he's going. Well, I backed up, and then there were these little cement pointy things going around a big rose bush full of thorns. The thorns were like this big. Never saw thorns that big. And as he's edging me back, I can't look and see where I am, and my foot trips on one of those cement things. I fall back into the bushes, and I go to get up, and I can't. I must have had about 35 thorns stuck in my butt. So they have to pull me out, and that hurt like heck. It was like needles, like going into my butt. So I run in the bathroom, and I look, and I have all these holes, and I'm going, oh my gosh, do I have to go to a doctor? Do I have to get like an antibiotic? Do you have to clean this out? I don't know what kind of bush that was, what was on it. And they're like, no, you're fine. So and then I looked at Jeff, and I was like, why didn't you tell me that I was going into the rose bushes? So yeah, funny little thing that happened. Well, it wasn't funny at the time, but funny now. So anyway, you know, it was just an awesome experience, like to shoot in Nepal. And like I said, it's very funny. You see the special effects because, you know, we're talking back like in the late 80s, I think it was, you know, and, you know, they have the golden child like disappear and spin up and fighting the guy with power and energy going to hell. And it's like really, really kind of funny when you see the special effects then and now. But Prince of the Sun, really cool movie to check out. So I have to say, on all of the Hong Kong films, the fights are great, but definitely like the takeoff of the Golden Child. So anyway, so that's a little bit about the scenes from Prince of the Sun. So remember, if you have any questions that you would like to ask about any of the films, please do so. Oh yeah, I had a little funky hairstyle then. I think I was outgrowing it from my short hair to the longer hair. So it was kind of like a blunt cut. So that wasn't part of the film. That was just my crazy hair trying to grow out to get longer. So anyway, thanks guys. If you get a chance, go to my website, cynthiarothrock.com. Have a lot of cool stuff there in the store. And please subscribe to the channel, refer it to your friends, and I will answer your other questions. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Hi, this is Cynthia Rothrock. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And if you like the videos, please put a like on it and refer it to your friends.